coming for a splash. 3, 2, 1, now. All clear. Punch it. Great job. You did really well.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Good morning, race fans. Welcome back to Turn 3 Racing Network Sunday morning. U.S. IndyCar action on tap today. We are at the very tricky Triangle Pocono Raceway here, here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania, and this is going to be an absolute just barn burner of a race. This is race number 5 of the year, or of the season, however you want to look at it. Point standings coming into today's race. Ryan Bowles sitting on top of your point standings, but Graham Bunyan has clawed his way back up within striking distance of taking over that top spot once again. Jason Lowe right there, third place, 39 points out of the lead. So Jason Lowe having a heck of a season already. Robert Mitchell doing well. Todd Lebrani right there, top 5. So a lot of good drivers with a good start to the season so far. Ben Wallace also has had some few bad runs, but he finds himself inside the top 10. Few other drivers out there needing some good finishes today in order to try to inch their way closer to the top of the points standings leaderboard. We are in happy hour, about 5 minutes left to go before we head down trackside for qualifying. And, man, I mean, it is going to be a very important race for a lot of different drivers. The opportunity for extra points here today, towards the end of the season, very big implications. This is your first Triple Crown race. Win all 3 Triple Crown races and you can find yourself an extra 20 points at the end of the season, but you got to start it off the right way, and that's by winning the first one, and that one is this one, the K.O.T.S 200, presented by StickQuik here on Turn 3 Racing Network. You are watching the U.S. IndyCar League here on iRacing.com. And man, I can't wait for these drivers to get things started, to get things going, to get it all rolling. A few drivers are out there on track, so we'll jump out there. I tell you what, let's jump out there and ride around, take a few looks at this 99 of Ben Wallace as he makes his way off of pit road, getting that Monster Energy machine wound up and ready to go. Looks like he's going to go on a final Q run to see what he has here. Nope, right back down pit road, so we won't stick with Ben. We'll jump back here now with Rick Lovison, driver of the 64 machine. Man, I tell you what, it's gonna be nuts to see these drivers all packed up, utilizing the draft and the slipstream. And it looks like Rick Lovison coming to pit road. So now let's jump out there with the 24 of Rick Kelball, see if Kelball completes this lap, or if he's gonna go ahead and shut her down and bring her to pit road as well. That is a fine looking Patron Tequila machine out there. I like that. I won't necessarily call it neon green. It's more of like a limeish, a little bit brighter than a lime, but you get it. It looks pretty nice out there. I like that. There you see on the bottom Ben Wallace. He's coming back off of pit road, possibly for one more Q run or an attempt at a Q run. It's going to be a little bit manipulated, though, with that driver of the 24 already out there on track right in front of him. Not a true qualifying run, if you will, because of the draft help getting up to speed here. So going to be a little bit off of a true qualifying run, but we'll see how Ben Wallace shakes out on this final lap. Fastest in happy hour, the man of the moment, A.J. Burton in the 75 machine. He finds himself sitting on top of the leaderboard here as happy hour is coming to a close. Less than 30 seconds left to go. So, yeah, these drivers going to have to jump out of the car and get ready to strap back in as soon as they put the new qualifying tires on and get this thing ready to go. We're going to step away. We'll be right back with all of your qualifying action here on Turn 3 Racing Network.
We're almost out of fuel. You'll have to come in for a splash. Three, two, one, now. All clear. Punch it. Great job. You did really well.
And stepping away for just a quick little pit stop, we'll now jump on board as David Zaleski makes his way out onto the track and up to speed. Few other drivers out there on track already. The 25 of Ryan Bowles, Jason Lowe in the 004, as well as David Zaleski, Howard Livingston also on their Q run. AJ Burton coming out on track as well. Jeff Murray, Rick Kelball starting his time lapse. The 101 of Graham Bunyan starting his laps as well. So the track a very busy place. So we're gonna be jumping around to a couple different drivers. So bear with us because we have got a lot out there on track. We'll just compare miles an hour right now coming out of turn number 1 right at the 2:05 mark. So we'll take a look at Ryan Bowles, see where his time is, his mile an hour that is at coming out of turn number 1. See if it's right around that 2:05 mark, and that'll give us a little bit of a comparison. And it looks like right at about the same time. So drivers going to be all over each other. A.J. Burton also out there on track coming through turn number 2, the tunnel turn. A very, very fast, flat out left-hander. Got to be careful on exit. But very, very fast track. I tell you what, let's ride around from the cockpit with A.J. for his second time lap. AJ going to the top of the board, and that's good enough for him. He says he's going to shut it on down, so we'll jump out there now with the 2 of Todd Lebrani as he is on his first time lap. AJ Burton sitting on top of your qualifying board. Graham Bunyan slotted in second, Jeff Murray in third, fourth place, Jason Lowe fifth, Ryan Bowles sixth, Howard Livingston, Rick Lovison seventh, Rick Kelball in eighth. Ninth is Will Stearns, 10th, David Zaleski. So almost the entire field already putting down their qualifying laps. Danny J out there on track now. Robert Mitchell and Nate Michael, only 2 drivers not to put in a qualifying lap as of yet. Where does Lebrani go? All the way up to third. My goodness, that is just a torrent pace there. Look at this. With just about a minute, under 2 minutes, just about under 2 minutes left, and only 3 drivers not putting down a lap as of yet. So things getting down to the wire, and we're going to get ready to step away to head down trackside for our pre-race festivities. Robert Mitchell going to be coming across the line here shortly in his StickQuik sponsored Dallara IR18. Coming back across the line, where will Mitchell shake out? And oh, that time not going on the board for Robert Mitchell, so may have scraped the wall a little or something, not quite sure. That lap not allowed. Danny J slotting in 11th. Nate Michael not putting down a qualifying lap just yet. So we'll stick it out here and watch your final qualifier. Robert Mitchell as he makes his way through and out of turn 3, back to the stripe. Where will he shake out? Mitchell up to 6th. That time was not good enough to dethrone the fast 75 of A.J. Burton. And with that being said, that's going to set your field for today's K.O.T.S. 200 from Pocono Raceway. And, well, my friends, join me as we head down trackside to honor our great nation by the playing of the national anthem. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave
just like that, we are ready to kick off the K.O.T.S 200, presented by StickQuik here on Turn 3 Racing Network. This is race number 5, Triple Crown race at Pocono Raceway. Your starting grid looks a little something like this. Your pole sitter for today's race, the 75 of A.J. Burton. Starting to his outside, the 101 of Graham Bunyan. In row number 2, the 2 of Todd Lebrani, followed by the 6 of Jeff Murray. Row number 3 for today's race, the 25 of Ryan Bowles and the 31 of Robert Mitchell. Oops, and I hit some stuff, so we'll have to Row number 4, the 004 of Jason Lowe and the 64 of Rick Lovison. Row number 5 for today's race, the 13 of Howard Livingston, followed by the 24 of Rick Kelball. Row number 6, the 10 of Mike West, followed by the 15 of Danny J. Row number 7 for today's race, the 306 of Will Stearns and the 07 of David Zaleski. Row number 8 here today, the 99 of Ben Wallace, followed by the 5 of Nate Michael. And that will do it for your starting lineup. Presented to you by StickQuik. Organizers and fasteners. Organize anything. Magnetic. Cool deal. But I tell you what's even better. We're set to go green flag racing. We're going to kick this thing off. Pace car is off. Green flag is out, and we're racing at Pocono Raceway. A.J. Burton with a great start over the field already. Still side by side, multiple lanes deep. All these drivers beginning to get single file now. We'll look through the field just a little bit, try to get everything sorted out, catch what we can. Looks like everything going nice and smooth. No problems up front. Graham Bunyan now to the inside of A.J. Burton for the lead. Out of turn number 2, put Bunyan to the top. Field already kind of sorting itself out. Looks like Jeff Murray in the 6 in that Wix machine. Very high through turn 3. Might have had some troubles. A.J. Burton now trying to close back in on the 101 of Graham Bunyan, but Graham doing an excellent job staying out in front. We have Ryan Bowles in the 25 sitting right there in the 3rd position. Oh, very close off of turn number 1 for Jeff Murray. That 6 was almost up into the wall. As we are looking at A.J. Burton try to close the distance in on Graham Bunyan. That is a battle for 1st and 2nd. 3rd is pretty much sorted out. The 25 of Ryan Bowles slotted in with a gap in front, gap to his rear. Jeff Murray does have Jason Lowe, Robert Mitchell, and Howard Livingston right there breathing down his gearbox right now. We stay green lap number 3. Out of the 80 scheduled for today's race distance, in the top 7 have begun to walk away from the rest of the field. Looks like from about 8th all the way back to the rest of the field seems to have adopted maybe a fuel strategy game, maybe a lesser is better at this point in time. But A.J. Burton still breathing down the gearbox of Graham Bunyan. These two not giving way to each other just yet. Graham hugging that yellow line. Burton right there trying to follow suit. This is the closest battle on track for position. You do have a few other battles out there as well. Looks like Mike West trying to make a pass on Will Stearns. That will be for the 12th position as you see your top 7 working off of turn number 2, and then another set of 4 cars just off into the distance, and this thing is beginning to get a little bit strung out already. Working lap number 5. Will anybody have what it takes to make up some of that distance and time throughout the field as this race winds itself down and winds itself through? When we get to green flag pit stops, I do believe you can get somewhere in the 30 to 40 laps on this tank of fuel, depending on the amount of fuel that you've allowed it yourself to put in. This being an open setup race, a triple crown race, you can manage how much fuel is the filled amount, so to speak. I myself use gallons because, well, we're in America. A lot of our drivers do use liters, though. A lot of them are from across the pond or way out there in the middle of the pond from Australia. Graham Bunyan, your race leader, one of those Aussie drivers. I know he uses liters, but you can control that. So if you go to fill up your car and you want it to take 3 less liters than what the absolute amount is, you can set that up in your setup. And then you're going to be taking on less fuel with your full fuel stop than what a driver that left it that 3 liters more would. If that makes any logical sense. I know I understand it and these drivers understand it, but who knows? Your top 2, Graham Bunyan and A.J. Burton, beginning to step away from the rest of the field, so we'll take a look a little further back, focusing in on this battle that's beginning to emerge from the 25 of Ryan Bowles and Jason Lowe. We'll keep our eye up there on those 2 race leaders, and we'll let you know or rejoin it should that battle get any closer. 0.3 of a second separates Graham Bunyan from A.J. Burton, and you're watching a battle between Ryan Bowles and Jason Lowe. Gap between these 2 drivers right at the 0.3 of a second. And just as I say that, A.J. Burton with a big run through the center of the corner. Gonna lose a little bit of that down that very long straightaway, believe it or not. Graham Bunyan pulled him just a little bit. But everything getting calm, everybody getting sorted out. Ryan Bowles dealing with Jason Lowe right now. Lap number 10 out of 80 here today. Your top 5 runners as they are now. Bunyan in first, Burton in second, Bowles in third, Lowe in fourth, and Mitchell rounding out that top 5. Jeff Murray knocking on the door of that top 5, running in the 6th position. Howard Livingston now takes that spot away from Murray. That was your closest battle, was going to bring it. And now A.J. Burton closing the distance once again on Graham Bunyan. So we will rejoin your race leaders as they continue to battle it out for the top spot. We are 11 laps into this thing, and Graham Bunyan has led every single one of them. Graham starting from the 2nd position, but was able to make a first lap pass and come across the stripe as the race leader on lap number 1, and has not looked back since. Maybe looking back into those side mirrors, keeping an eye on where AJ is running. These 2 drivers have stepped away from the field 4 seconds separates themselves from Ryan Bowles, and Bowles still dealing with Jason Lowe right there on his gearbox. Very, very long straightaways here at Pocono Raceway for these drivers to try to utilize the slipstream if they can. We'll take a look back off of the gearbox of that 101 of Graham Burton. There you see Graham Bunyan looking at AJ Burton. See, it wouldn't be a broadcast if I didn't mess up what I was trying to say a few times. Yeah. Not the first time today, probably won't be the last, but we'll just roll with it, you know. Want to thank the driver and crew of this 101, Graham Bunyan and his guys, allowing us here at Turn 3 Racing Network to put this great gearbox camera on, bring you a shot from behind the car. Great camera work there, guys. Do appreciate it. Now looking through the field, looks like Jason Lowe has, I don't want to say fallen off the rear of Ryan Bowles, but a little bit of a distance has begun to develop. That gap was a little bit smaller a few laps ago, but the man closing in right now is this guy right here, the 31 of Robert Mitchell in his StickQuik Dallara IR18, coming up through the field very, very fast. And while everything was going on, Ben Wallace must have had a moment, must have had a issue with the wall, as Ben is behind the wall and out of the race. David Zaleski also hit pit road for an extended stay. Nate Michael, an extended stay as well. Those drivers 1 and 2 laps down. So that's going to leave us with only 13 cars on the lead lap here at Pocono Raceway for the K.O.T.S 200. Presented to you by StickQuik here on Turn 3 Racing Network. Your race leader, Graham Bunyan, stepping away from AJ Burton just slightly now. Almost a half a second separates those two drivers. You'll find Ryan Bowles running in third. Almost 6 seconds back has Jason Lowe right there in tow still. Robert Mitchell trying to close a 1.5 second gap between himself and Jason Lowe. We'll head back through the field just a little bit further. We'll pick up this small battle developing between these three drivers, the 24 of Rick Kelball, Rick Lovison, and the 2 of Todd Labrani. These drivers going to be mixing it up here very, very shortly. There you see Kelball in the foreground, Lovison in the middle, and Labrani on the hunt just behind that 64. Few small battles still raging on track. AJ Burton staying within that 0.3 of a second away from the rear of Graham Bunyan leading this thing. Jason Lowe still just about the 0.3 to a half a second in front. Oh, interesting. We missed that pass. Ryan Bowles is now falling off. We'll have to wait and see for a second, see what's going on with Ryan, as Jason Lowe has not only passed him, but put almost a second between himself and Bowles. So Jason Lowe with a a big move. We'll try to jump up now and see if anything's wrong here with Bowles as he makes his way around the track. Everything looks okay. Side pods look all right. The side of the front wing looks okay. The nose of the car looking fine. So maybe just a little bit of a moment, maybe some understeer. Had to jump out of the gas possibly. But that battle's pretty much sorted itself out. Todd Lebrani has made his way up and around the 64 of Rick Lovison. Put Lebrani to the 8th spot. Jeff Murray has since been put 1 lap down. He is the first car 1 lap down. That's going to give us 11 drivers still on the lead lap. Will Stearns about a half a lap down from your race leader, Graham Bunyan, who has been on an absolute torrent pace out there. Keeping our eye on timing and scoring. Looks like Mike West is slowly closing the distance to that 64 of Rick Lovison. About a half a second separates those two drivers. A.J. Burton still at that 0.3 of a second mark behind your race leader, Graham Bunyan. Up at the front, Graham Bunyan with a great lap, putting some more distance between himself and Burton. That gap just under the 1 second mark, as these drivers are just absolutely tearing this track up. Robert Mitchell with a little bit of a moment. Falls off of the pace just a little bit. And we have got drivers all over the place. Rejoining this battle here with Mike West trying to take the position away from Rick Lovison as they go around the lap machine of Jeff Murray. Murray just kindly moves up out of the way. No problems, no harm, no foul. But Mike West is a man on a mission. Can he get the job done? Can he make the pass? How long will it take? How long can he work those tires in this dirty air? As you see just in front of them, Todd Lebrani slowly closing in on the back of that 24 of Rick Kilball. Distance between those drivers has closed to under the 1 second mark. So we'll continue to watch this battle until Lebrani closes in just a little bit more before we jump up to watch that battle for position. This is your closest battle for position on track for the 9th and 10th spot in today's K.O.T.S 200 presented by StickQuik here on Turn 3 Racing Network. And these drivers have put on a great pace already. 25 laps out of 80 in the book. 56 laps left to go. And just as I say that, we're going to jump up now because we're starting to see a 3-car battle begin to unfold. Howard Livingston has Rick Kelball just behind him. Todd Lebrani right there just behind Kelball. That is 6th, 7th, and 8th position running on track. Your race leader still, Graham Bunyan, still has a 1.3 second lead, so nothing going on up there. 9 seconds back from Burton to Lowe, so no problems there either. Rest of the field kind of gapped up just a little bit as Mike West now makes that pass over the 64. Put Mike into the 9th spot, and he will set his sights on trying to close the distance between himself and Todd Lebrani. That gap 3.3, now make it 2.6 seconds between Mike West and Todd Lebrani. Graham Bunyan hitting pit road, your race leader coming to pit road, 26 laps into his green flag run. That is going to put more drivers onto pit road. Also, Rick Kelball, Howard Livingston onto pit road. So a lot of drivers coming down with your race leader, Graham Bunyan. We'll keep an eye on the pit delta. As Burton coming through turn 3, will Bunyan get out of pit road on time? And it looks like Burton's staying out. Bunyan still not out, and Bunyan must have had an issue, as he is on pit road fixing that machine. I tell you what, let's try to see if we can't see what happened here, and then we will get back live. Graham Bunyan must have had a moment. He is stuck on pit road fixing his car. Trying to see if we see anything. Everything looks okay. AJ Burton still running on track. We are watching the replay to see what happened with Graham Bunyan, as he is still on pit road fixing his car. We'll let this ride out for this last lap. No contact there with the wall. Was very close. Might have had some slight contact possibly and not showing. And yeah, just not sure what that was. But Graham Bunyan rejoining the field. There you see him. Went from leading the race to possibly ending up one lap down by the end of this green flag pit cycle. So your race leader, AJ Burton, there you see him taking the top spot. Graham Bunyan with some issues, and oh boy, that has shook up the field. AJ Burton now leading Jason Lowe by 9.4 seconds. Ryan Bowles running in third. Fourth place, Robert Mitchell. Fifth, Howard Livingston. Todd Lebrani in sixth. Rick Lovison in seventh. Rick Kelball eighth. Ninth place, Mike West and Will Stearns rounds out your top 10. And talk about a big swing. There you see, man on screen, AJ Burton. If we'll watch, you should see a car off in the distance. And he comes around. There you see, just going through turn 3. That was the early race leader, almost dominant car, Graham Bunyan, dangerously close to being put a lap down as we work lap 31 out of 80. Graham falling from grace in today's Triple Crown race here at Pocono Raceway. Your race leader well in hand, AJ Burton. Nothing to worry about for him. We'll go back to the second place runner now, Jason Lowe, in his 004 Naked Clown machine. No problems, no issues. 1.5 seconds separates himself from the third place runner, Ryan Bowles. Ryan trying to close the distance. Pretty much Not really too much to overcome, but that gap is getting to where he's going to slowly lose any type of slipstream that he may be able to manipulate to try to get himself up there. Just off in the distance, you've seen him, the man right here, Robert Mitchell running in fourth. Howard Livingston right back here with Todd Lebrani in tow. Rick Lovison just behind these two drivers. Rick Kelball, Mike West also right there. A few little two-car battles. You're watching one right here. Howard Livingston with Todd Lebrani. Then the two drivers behind them, Rick Lovison and Rick Kelball. Those two drivers going at it for 7th and 8th position. But they have got to be careful. Mike West. I apologize. Mike West, teammate of Bunyan and Jay, right there within striking distance to try to jump on any misfortune or mishap should any of the drivers in front of him have a moment or any issue. This is your closest battle on track for the 5th and 6th spot. Big move being made by Lebrani. Put Lebrani up inside of that top 5 now, and he's going to set his sights on Robert Mitchell. He's about 4.5 seconds back, so he's going to have an uphill battle on his hands. And I tell you what, Graham Bunyan, he has got a dog in this fight still. He has not given up. He has actually closed that gap between himself and A.J. Burton. He has grown the gap, I should say, not closed it. Pulling away and back around Will Stearns to take over the 10th position on track. And closing in pretty quickly on the 10 of Mike West, the 64, Rick Lovison, and Rick Kelball in the 24 machine. Those drivers are going to have to deal with Graham. I would say in the next 5 to 10 laps, Graham is going to be knocking on their door as well as we inch closer and closer to the halfway point in today's Triple Crown race for the U.S. IndyCar League here on iRacing.com, world's #1 racing simulator. You're watching the K.O.T.S 200. Presented by StickQuik here on Turn 3 Racing Network. 80 laps is the scheduled distance around this 2.5 mile track. 200 miles is the overall distance. And man, I tell you what, track temp is cooling off a ton as of right now. Looked over just a second ago to check that out, to check out some numbers for you guys, and we went from 112 degrees in happy hour as the track temp all the way down to 99. So a big time swing, 13 degree difference. So these cars may begin to handle slightly different as we continue to click off these laps, looking like green flag pit stops in another 10 to 15 laps or so. Are watching the two of Todd Lebrani as he is trying to close the distance to Robert Mitchell, but not having very much success doing so. And I tell you what, we're gonna jump back here with Graham Bunyan. Keep our eye on him for just a moment because he has closed that gap between himself and the next 3 cars, significantly chopped that distance in half. Now only 1.5 seconds back from Mike West, Rick Lovison, and Rick Kelball. They're going to be driving out of their side mirrors here very, very shortly as Graham Bunyan continues to close that distance. There you see Rick Lovison right there with Mike West on his heels. Graham Bunyan closing in the background, trying to see who that is just in front of them, and not being able to pick up the number. I believe that may be Nate Michael in the 5 machine. Tell you what, we'll find out the easy way. Yes, it is. That is Nate Michael. Lapped machine just in front of Rick Lovison. And man, I tell you what, Graham Bunyan, he is there, and he is around Mike West. There you see it, pass being made before the tunnel turn, put Bunyan into 9th, and he's going to set his sights on Rick Lovison now. Rick Kelball closing the distance. We'll jump up here with this battle. Rick Kelball closing the distance between himself and Howard Livingston. Livingston running in the 6th position. Kelball in that Patron tequila machine. If he gets the victory lane, I'm sure there are going to be some shots taken for sure. Great racing action on track. There you see Rick Kelball closing in on the back of Howard Livingston, and Graham Bunyan has made his way around Rick Lovison and stepped away. My, Graham Bunyan, man on the mission now. I'm not sure I'd want an angry Graham Bunyan, but he is making the best of his mishap, driving all the way from almost a lap down, all the way up into the 8th position, and going to be knocking on the door of Rick Kelball here shortly, as Kelball is still trying to battle it out with Howard Livingston for the 6th and 7th spot on track. We will rejoin our race leader, AJ Burton, give you a little bit of view from his cockpit, let you see what he sees, and that is absolutely nothing. Drivers way up off in the distance, but everything clear for Burton, and that is exactly what you want to see when you head off into these corners at the speed 200 plus miles an hour for these drivers, so you want a clear track. Burton gonna start working himself into lap traffic here in the next few laps. There you see 2 drivers just off in the distance. I believe that may be Mike West and Rick Lovison. But will we have another round of green flag pit stops before that's all sorted out and settled? We'll have to wait and see Everybody's staying on track as of right now. 35 laps left to go here today in the K.O.T.S 200 presented by StickQuik. We will rejoin the battle on track because look at this. Rick Kelball has made his way by Howard Livingston, but Graham Bunyan, I'm telling you, Graham is a man on the move. We'll ride on board with Graham as he makes the pass of Nate Michael. He's going to slot right in on the gearbox of Livingston now. Try to take over that 7th position and then run down Rick Kelball for 6th. Pass being made going into the tunnel turn. Graham Bunyan flat out there. You see him never lifting from the gas. He is 1 second behind Rick Kelball going to the inside, going around the lap machine of Jeff Murray. Jeff being shown 5 laps down. We will get to a little bit of house cleaning here in just a moment. Still trying to bring you some great onboard camera action here as you hear Bunyan out of the throttle pretty significantly going through turn 1 here. But he is all over Rick Kelball. Breathing the throttle just a little bit through turn 2, that tunnel turn. And here it is. Keeping a little bit of distance on that entry, keeping some air on the front nose cone. We'll see how he does here as he works his way down this very, very long front stretch down into turn number 1. There you see the distance. There you see the gap. More importantly, though, the gap in the distance between A.J. Burton and Jason Lowe, first to second, 20.3 second difference. That is almost enough time to stop, get 4 tires, fill it up for the final time, come out without losing a spot. So A.J. trying to stretch this thing, and there you see the pass for position. To the inside, the 101 of Graham Bunyan goes around the 24. And that spot is now Bunyan's put him back up into the 6th spot. And he is going to look to knock on the door of that top 5. Todd Lebrani just 3 seconds in front of Graham Bunyan. Mike West and Howard Livingston, those 2 drivers going at it with each other, but they're going to have to be careful because your race leader is just behind them. Nate Michael very close to exit there. Very close to the wall on exit there. Sorry, my brain didn't process everything I was trying to. Yeah. So, yeah, think about that. And there you see the driver just behind that 10 machine, the 10 second car in line. That is your race leader just behind these 2 cars. Howard Livingston, Mike West, they are very, very close to being put a lap down here today for the K.O.T.S 200 presented by StickQuik here on Turn 3 Racing Network. We are working lap 52 out of 80 here today. 29 laps to go from Pocono Raceway. Your race leader, this man right here. Lap traffic all around. A.J. Burton. As Mike West moves to the outside and around Howard Livingston. Now Burton with a little bit of a moment. He moves to the bottom of the track. Going to try to slide up just in front of Livingston. He's able to do it off of turn 3. Clear him. Now put Livingston 1 lap down. While we have an opportunity in just a brief second, we will do a little bit of house cleaning. 16 drivers took to the grid for today's race. We still have 13 running out on track. First car 1 lap down is Howard Livingston, Rick Lovison, Will Stearns, Nate Michael, all 1 lap down. Jeff Murray being scored 6 laps down in his 6th machine, running in 13th. Danny J with some issues on pit road, fixing his machine. And we have got green flag pit stops once again. Looks like Robert Mitchell, Ryan Bowles both hitting pit road. With all of that happening, Graham Bunyan has came up and around Todd Lebrani and set sail, put Bunyan all the way back up into 3rd now. My goodness, things heating up very, very fast here at the closing stages of today's K.O.T.S. 200 presented to you by StickQuik. Jason Lowe now hitting pit road. Graham Bunyan hitting pit road. AJ Burton staying out. And AJ is going to put almost the entire field 1 lap down. The man in front of him, Mike West, the 10 machine, the only car left on the lead lap. Amazing performance right now from AJ Burton, and you have to think back to the first round of green flag pit stops when Graham Bunyan had an extended stay on pit road. Graham gave up almost a full minute longer than the rest of his competitors, and AJ Burton hitting pit road this time by. We'll continue to watch Mike West make his way around the track. And actually, I tell you what, we're going to jump to Jason Lowe, the driver of that 004. He's going to be the only one with an opportunity to possibly catch up to AJ. There you go, putting himself back onto the lead lap is Lowe. Burton just now hitting his pit stall. He is down and away off of pit road, and getting back up to speed is AJ Burton. Mike West still needing to hit pit road, being scored in the 2nd position. Looks like he is braking to come to pit road this time by. Oh, and Mike West, a little bit of a moment there getting to pit road. And that is going to leave AJ with a very comfortable lead. He will reassume the race lead with still about that 20-second gap between himself and 2nd place. Graham Bunyan, however, just made the pass. You're watching it happen right here. Tell you what, we'll back it up just a second, show you that pass on the replay. Mitchell up high, Bunyan down low. Pass being made off of turn number 1. There you see it. Since making the pass, Graham Bunyan has slowly driven away from that 31 of Robert Mitchell, as we have only got 24 laps left to go here in today's race, and Graham Bunyan has been a man on an absolute mission since leading the first 25 laps of today's scheduled 80 race distance. And the man that has capitalized the most on that, AJ Burton. When Bunyan had his issues, Burton said, "Thank you, sir," and has never looked back, and has been just laying down tremendous laps, lap after lap, almost qualifying pace laps. And with Burton doing so, he has put a vast majority of this field down 1 lap. Last car on the lead lap, driver of the 2 running in 6th position, Todd Lebrani. And Todd very, very close to being put The first car 1 lap down. That is being held right now by the 24 of Rick Kelball. So, I mean, the pace here by Burton is just absolutely unreal. Crossing the line this time, we will have 22 laps left to go. Can Bunyan close the distance anymore? Has already shaved almost 3 seconds off of the gap between himself and the 25 of Ryan Bowles. Their tires only 1 lap different. Man with the freshest tires on track in the top 5 is your race leader, A.J. Burton. We will rejoin him as he is working his way back into lap traffic. He will be putting Nate Michael a 3rd lap down when he gets to him. There you see Michael just off in front of him in a string of cars in front of your race leader. Burton gonna have to be very careful picking his spots, working his way through these back markers. There you see Michael making the pass on Murray. Murray in a very hurt machine. He is going to go down yet another lap, make that 7 laps down today for Jeff Murray, and that is going to be big for him in the point standings. Not the race he needed to continue the uphill tick that he has had so far this season through our first 4 races. Looking through timing and scoring, and this is going to be one of the more exciting cars to be watching, as your race leader AJ Burton is around more cars for potential passes. Not passes for position, but passes nonetheless. We'll slowly begin to watch Graham Bunyan on the scoring charts as he has made his way now to 2.5 seconds behind Ryan Bowles for that 3rd and final podium spot. So we will give you your running order drop down with that top 3 podium spot cut off for you. There you see it off to the left-hand side, and we will join that battle here just briefly in a second. I'm going to wait to see how Burton does getting around Todd Lebrani. Todd fighting hard to stay on the lead lap. That fight's over. Burton to the bottom through 3, makes the pass without a problem as they work their way back onto the front stretch. And there you see Robert Mitchell now, the next car in danger of going 1 lap down. Off in front of those drivers just a little bit. We will join Graham Bunyan as he makes his advance towards that podium spot. Ryan Bowles just 1.4 seconds in front of him, and Bowles right there knocking on the door of that 004. So there you see 2nd, 3rd, 4th all running with each other. That is the 306 of Will Stearns in between Bunyan and Bowles. Could that make the difference of a Bunyan being able to get up there and take that 3rd and final podium spot away? We'll have to wait and see. As big moment there for Bunyan, almost into that outside wall. He's going to have to be careful with the dirty air. Staying just behind that 306 of Will Stearns off of turn number 3 this time, right on the gearbox. Look for Bunyan to snake out of line here coming to turn number 1. There you see the move. There you see the pass. No problem. Put Bunyan by the lap machine of Will Stearns, and now he can really chase after those next 2 drivers. That is the lap machine of Howard Livingston just giving way, jumping out of the gas, letting these drivers go by. We have been green flag racing since the drop of the green flag here today at Pocono Raceway in Long Pond, Pennsylvania for the U.S. IndyCar League K.O.T.S. 200 presented by StickQuik here on Turn 3 Racing Network. Thanks for joining us. I am David Whirl up in the booth, bringing you all the calls from all of the great action out there on track here today. Want to thank everybody for tuning in, watching week in and week out. Haven't already, go ahead and hit a thumbs up, click subscribe, smash the bell over there on the right hand side, get notified anytime we go live here on Turn 3 Racing Network. Across multiple different platforms, we've got Formula cars, we've got dirt track cars, Indy cars, we've got cup cars, trucks. I mean, you name it, we got it. Street stocks, modifieds, everything you can think of over here at Turn 3 Racing Network. Big shout out to all the guys over there at Turn 3 Racing Network. Muth in the booth, Chris Legue, Rick Hammond, Danny Valenzuela, K.R. Stolfus, and, well, myself, of course. Big shout out to all of these drivers as well. This track, it is a little tricky. It will make you think you can press a little harder, a little further, and that outside wall can eat you up in an absolute instant. These drivers doing one heck of a job, green flag racing the entire time here today. Excuse me. Here today from Pocono Raceway, and we are getting down to the nitty-gritty where business is all important, and it's going to be all take, and you ain't giving an inch. Jason Lowe's got Ryan Bowles right on his heels. Graham Bunyan making a big run back towards the front of the field. Can he get the job done? Can he come back to finish on the podium? We'll have to see. Let it all unfold in front of our eyes. And I mean, the man, we're watching this battle for second, third, and fourth, but the man of the hour ever since the issues early in the race has been this gentleman right here coming through turn number 3 and back to the front stretch, and that is the performance that A.J. Burton has been able to put on those drivers fighting for second, third, and fourth. Well, that was them. That was them off in the distance. You will see them one more time. There you see it. Those drivers going into the tunnel turn. That is second, third, and fourth. Jason Lowe, Ryan Bowles, and Graham Bunyan. A.J. Burton has got a 33-second lead over the second place runner, Jason Lowe. So almost the entire field being scored one or multiple laps down here today from Pocono Raceway, and we will rejoin this battle for second, third, and fourth. Nothing changing right now. Lowe still in second, Bowles in third, and Bunyan charging, trying to put his Rolling Stones machine up into the third and final podium position. Moment right there for Bunyan, almost into that outside wall. He gets it corralled, corrected, pointed in the right direction. Does anybody have what it takes to make a pass this late into the run? The tires are screaming right now. Tires very old, very worn. 9 laps left, 8 make it now for these drivers. And man, I just... whew. It looks like they're able to get right there with each other, just not able to do anything with the run once they get there. And I tell you what, let's go ahead. We're going to do since we haven't had the opportunity, we're going to go ahead and do one of our shut up and race scenarios here towards the end of today's race. So, yeah, enjoy the sights and sounds as we shut up and race. Oh, yeah. Down to the witching hour. 4 laps left to go. And Bunyan with the move to the inside on Bowles. Through turn number 2. Makes it stick. Makes it happen. Put Bunyan. Oh, and caution. Caution is out on track. And Jeff Murray hard into the wall. We will take one look back at that. Oh my, oh my. What has happened with Jeff Murray? We'll take a look back now with our turn 3 replay as he is making his way through, looks like the tunnel turn here. Oh no, down into the wall. Ooh, tough break, and that's going to bring out our first and only caution. And oh my goodness, that is going to shake up the finish. That is going to, that is going to really, that's not what Burton wanted to see, as Graham Bunyan actually got by Ryan Bowles there just briefly to make his way back into the podium positions. And, well, I'm scratching my head here because I think this may be the end of the race. I think we may have just seen this thing called to an end under caution. I believe your field is going to finish this way. If I am remembering correctly, there are no green, white, checkered attempts here in the U.S. IndyCar League. So I don't believe we will get this thing restarted, as everybody's staying out on track. That's going to give us our 2 to go. And unless the pace car lights, well, No, that should be it. I believe that is going to put an end to today's K.O.T.S 200 presented by StickQuik here from Pocono Raceway. As we've got 2 to go, if the pace car lights went out next time by, well, that would bring us to the end of the race. So, once again, we'll have to wait and see and find out. We're going to step away for just a brief moment. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back here on Turn 3 Racing Network.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
And we have got our 1 to go. That is it, folks. No green, white, checkered attempts here in the U.S. IndyCar League, and that is going to put the man at the front of the field, A.J. Burton, to the top of the podium. Your race winner, Jason Lowe, going to walk away in second. And how about Graham Bunyan in that 101 machine, driving his way back up through the field in just inside of your final podium spot into third place. And I mean within 20 seconds of making that pass. The caution flew and has brought today's race to an end. So Graham Bunyan, barely by the skin of his teeth, pushing as hard as he did, made it back to the podium. We'll have to wait and see if we can't get some words here after the race with Bunyan on what went down and what happened out there for him today. Nonetheless, man, we have had a great race out there today. And with the race ending under caution, we will get things set up and ready to go with your post-race interviews. And, well, as we hate to step away again for another short commercial break, we're going to have to for just a moment. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in about 2 minutes with all your post-race interviews here from Pocono Raceway. back at the track watching the celebration go down for that 75 of A.J. Burton. Burton with a quick little celebration there. That, that performance deserves a pretty good celebration. We'll let him get everything done as he's going to come back around to line up with the rest of the field. And it has been an absolute great race out there today. And look at him being nice and proper. Great job out there from all of these race drivers. And now we'll see if we can't get in a few words with your third place finisher out there today. Let's see if we can't grab a word or two with Graham Bunyan finishing in third today. Graham, man, that was a great charge back up to the front of the field, man. Tell us a little bit about what happened out there.
Oh, man, how stupid am I? I come flying into the pit thinking it's the old Pocono, and the Witch's Cone is normally about another 15, 20 metres down the safer barrier. Well, hey, silly old me forgot that the pit entry line was right at the beginning of the safer barrier. So I copped a 40-second speeding penalty plus a 7-second hold for the fuel change and tyres, and 47-second down. So I was kicking myself and I was steaming under the helmet, that's for sure.
Well, man, what is the strategy now for the next two Triple Crown races? You kind of just don't even have to worry about it because those 20 points for winning all three, that's kind of out of the window for you. But what's more important to you, winning the normal races or trying to go out and capture one of these Triple Crowns?
Look, I'd like to get one. I don't have to worry about stopping AJ because unfortunately AJ's been away just due to other work commitments and stuff. So he's this will help him out a bit. It'll get him up there a little bit in the points if he gets the Triple Crown. I think he got the Triple Crown last season, I think. So, look, I can't believe I made up so many spots, man. That just, to come back from last place, a lap down and waiting for everybody to go through their pit cycle and come back up to third. Man, I like I said, I was hot under the helmet and hot and cranky with myself.
Once again, a great job, great recovery, great drive back up through the field. Caution came out just as you passed Ryan Bowles. If it had waited a few more seconds, we may not have been talking to you here today. So things kind of falling back the way that you needed them to late in the race. But Graham, once again, congratulations. Great finish here today. Would you like to give any shout outs, thank yous, love yous before we let you go?
Yeah, look, just everybody, great race, well done. It was a tough track this week, but look, I feel sorry for Ryan. I stole it right at the last second there with that yellow coming out, but man, look, he deserved to get what he got, and he definitely raced well. They all raced well. Jason, AJ, and Ryan, everybody did well. So yep, that's it. And StickQuik for the sponsor and Robert for putting it on.
All right, there you have it. That was your third place finisher for today's race, that 101 of Graham Bunyan. Now we will go to our second place finisher for today's race, the 004 himself, the Naked Clown, Jason Lowe, walking away in second today. Jason, you got us?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Hey, buddy, making it a habit talking to me after the race is a great job this week. Once again, walking away in second. Tell us just a little bit about your race.
Well, started seventh. I built a car for the hot slick conditions. I basically stuffed all the downforce into this thing that I could in every way. I practiced a lot during the week on long runs. And my short run speed was horrible, but the car didn't fall off a bit. So once we were halfway through a fuel run, I was starting to put a gap on guys. I purposely got out by myself in some clean air. Again, I wasn't fast by myself, but when people caught me, I think I was making such a huge wake that nobody could really ride behind me just because I had so much downforce. I was aiming for a podium spot. Had there been one more lap, I would have been third on the podium, not second, because Graham was coming with his hair on fire. There's no doubt about that. If not for that speeding penalty, him and AJ would have probably had a real good battle for the win. I was a third place car, but I ended up second, and I won't be disappointed in that. I'm happy for that.
Absolutely. Take what you can get when it's given to you, huh?
Richard Petty always said I'd rather be lucky than second any day, but I'll take lucky and second over third.
I hear you. Well, once again, congratulations. Great job walking away in second place out there today. Before we let you go, though, Jason, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, anything like that?
Well, as always, thank you for the broadcast. Thank Robert for the league he puts on. That's just fantastic. We got a great bunch of guys in here. I enjoy racing with every one of them. And just thanks to all the people who watch us.
There you have it. That was your second place finisher for today's race. And we will now get to the man of the hour. There you see him, front and center on the screen. Race winner, the 75 of AJ Burton. AJ, how you doing, bud?
Good, thanks. Really enjoyed that race. It was a lot of fun.
I would have to agree. I mean, 30-something seconds back to your closest competitor. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, and because we had a long green flag run, that's what I enjoy the most, is just getting the car hooked up for 60, 70 laps in one go, green flag pit stops. It's just a lot of fun because there's no interruptions, no slowing down. Like a pace lap here is 2 minutes long. That's kind of boring, you could say, just waiting a couple laps when that happens. So good green flag runs, a lot of fun for me.
I would have to agree. The pace laps around this huge track are just grueling, man. Just, oh my Lord. But we didn't have to worry about that today. You and Graham Bunyan were putting on a heck of a battle early during that first round of green flag pit stops. Graham has a little bit of an incident, and from there you just stepped away and stepped out on the field. What went through your mind after hearing about the pit road penalty that Graham got? Where was your mind at when that news came to you?
Yeah, when I heard he'd got a penalty of about, I think it was about 30, 40 seconds, so it really put him way back in the field. I sort of just knew the race would be mine if it stayed green. I just had to keep it clean, not make any mistakes, and just bring it home. And yeah, like I say, as it went green, there was nothing to really worry about. Just keep the car on track and brought it home comfortably.
All right, AJ. Well, I mean, does not being here week in and week out, does it make you want to go out and win every race that you are able to make it to? I mean, knowing that the points battle is kind of a long shot for you, do you just focus on coming out and just trying to win every race that you're able to make to?
Yeah, primarily I want to be able to have fun, and if that means racing up front and winning races, obviously that's what I want to achieve. Obviously, I'll only be doing a few races this season. Hopefully I can make it through all the Triple Crown races and maybe take that accolade instead of fighting for a championship. Obviously I'd love to, but other commitments mean that's not possible. So yeah, just when I can come out and try and win and have fun.
All right, well, man, well, come out and win is exactly what you did today. Issues with other drivers or not, at the end of the day, it's the man that crosses the line first, and that was you today. And we hope to see you out on track again soon. But congratulations once again, walking away the race winner of today's Triple Crown race. Before we let you go, though, AJ, would you like to give any special shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, anything like that?
Just once again, thanks to the guys who put the races together, the sponsors, and to all the drivers who made it a good, fun, clean race. And commiserations to Graham for his mistake and not being able to fight for the win, but I'll take that.
All right, well, there you have it. Words from your race winner, the man front and center, A.J. Burton. My goodness gracious, things have begun to get wrapped up, and we will get ready to head on out of here just briefly. Few small things and tasks left for us to do up here in the booth. We'll give you your race finishing order for today. Coming home in first place, the 75 of A.J. Burton, followed closely by that 004 of Jason Lowe. Coming home in third, the final podium spot, the 101 of Graham Bunyan. Finishing fourth here today, the 25 of Ryan Bowles, followed by Robert Mitchell in the 31. Sixth place goes to the 2 of Todd Lebrani, while the 24 of Rick Kilball slots home in 7th. Eighth spot goes to the 64 of Rick Lovison, while in 9th is the 306 of Will Stearns. 10th position, the 13 of Howard Livingston, while Nate Michael finishes in 11th. 12th spot goes to the 6 of Jeff Murray. Coming home in 13th, the 10 of Mike West. 14th, the 15 of Danny J. Rounding out the top 15, the 07 of David Zaleski. In troubles in the race very early into the day for that 99 of Ben Wallace, and he will round out the field for today's K.O.T.S 200, presented to you by StickQuik. And yeah, I mean, nothing left to do from us except for send a shout out to all the viewers out there watching week in, week out. Shout out to all the drivers out there putting on an excellent race once again. And as always, here on Turn 3 Racing Network, thank you all for joining us. Check back with us a little later tonight and later in the week for some more great racing action. And well, until then, we'll see you next time here on Turn 3 Racing Network.
We're almost out of fuel. You'll have to come in for a splash. 3, 2, 1, now. All clear. Punch it. Great job. You did really well.